Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Wednesday afternoon to you. Hump Day. Fall camp begins day. All of that good stuff. First day of practice for Arizona football. Wasn't too bad out there this morning in terms of the weather, the heat. It was hot. Don't get me wrong. It was hot, but it could have been a lot hotter than it was for those of us that were out there this morning to take a look at your Arizona Wildcats practices. For the most part, are in the morning. They are open to the public. Not too many fans out there today. It's a little weird. They're not really promoting it too much. I don't know why that is. You'll need to call them and ask them why they're not promoting it. But practices are open to the public. Okay. So come in the mornings. Generally, there are going to be some practices that are going to be in the evening at the stadium. For the most part, though, it's the same similar setup to what they had last year, where practices are on the Tomey Fields. And then sometimes they'll hop over to the Jimenez facility, which is the beach volleyball facility, and do some drills. They didn't do a lot over there. Last year they used that field a lot. Today they didn't necessarily do that. That doesn't mean that they won't. Sometimes they're inside the Davis Center, and you really can't see a lot of what's going on in there. We did get a chance to walk over for one period that was inside over there. And see a little bit, but mostly everything that's out on the Tomey practice fields is what is going to be open and available to see during this fall camp, which generally lasts around 3 weeks of being open before we start to get into the school aspect of the season, and then we'll figure out how everything goes after that. New staff, new rules, all that kind of thing, but practice is open to the public if you want to come out and see your Arizona Wildcats. 520-848-1290 is our number to get in on the program. So obviously we are in the Pac-12 now. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Quarter into the we
gotta need a good pun for that because it's not a swear jar.
$1.50 now.
It's a Big 12 jar.
Big 12. The can't say Pac-12 anymore jar. So we're in the Big 12, but I've got they gave us I think it was at the Pac-12 basketball tournament. They gave us these really cool. I'll hold it up for those of you that maybe were watching on our stream. These really cool Pac-12 basketball notebooks. So it's relatively new, and I haven't really used it. So I'm kind of using my Pac-12 basketball notebook to write, because they didn't give us anything. They gave us this nice cup at the Big 12 football media days, which we're using as our curse cup. Curse being Pac-12. When we say Pac-12, and we mean Big 12.
The naughty word.
The naughty word. But yeah, so I'm using this nice book for all my notes. And it's like all gibberish. I'll show you day one if you can see it. You might not be able to see it too good. But yeah, it's all kind of gibberish the first day of notes. And so we'll go through some of the things that I noticed and that I saw. There is some news that is very interesting, and we'll get to that right off the top. It's interesting because it was kind of something that Brent Brennan talked about yesterday, and we also got a chance to hear from Brent Brennan again today. You'll hear his press conference today after the first practice. You'll also hear the players' press conference today. Noah Fafita and Dalton Johnson, two of the leaders on this team, one on the offensive side, one on the defensive side, both spoke. You will hear from them. But one of the things that Brent Brennan had kind of said yesterday was that, I want to talk about the guys that are there, the guys that are here, the guys that are on the practice field, because it's very interesting. Football can be dominated because it is a sport where there tends to be a lot of injuries. That can become the news of your team weekly. Who's playing? Who's not playing? We saw what it did last year. Is Jaden Delore going to play this week? Who's going to be the quarterback this week? Is it going to be Noah Fafita? It's the nature of the beast, though. I think it's interesting. It's the nature of this game. We see it at all levels, especially at the NFL level. I mean, what's the one of the first things you see when camps opened last week? I believe it was the Cowboys. One of the Cowboys' top defensive backs went down on the first day of practice, and he's out for the season. So it is what it is. And so what's the first thing you're looking for when you go out there? You want to see who's out there, who's practicing, who's not practicing. Well, there were some starters that were not practicing today. We kind of knew that Tetero McMillan wasn't going to be 100%. He was off to the side doing individual drills with the medical staff. We didn't necessarily know that Wendell Moy wasn't going to be 100%. He was kind of working on the side as well, not moving too swiftly. So it looks like maybe that might be some type of a lower extremity issues. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of injury information from this staff. It sounds like just what Brent Brennan was saying yesterday, that he doesn't necessarily want to talk a lot about injuries. Traden Stukes, who was just, Dwayne Akina went on for minutes yesterday about Traden Stukes and the how much respect they have for Traden Stukes, that he is one of the most slept on players in college football, that this kid has immense potential. He was limited today, so he was not out there with the ones, which allowed us to see some other guys in different positions. And then maybe the biggest absence of the first day of camp was on the offensive line. Raymond Polito was not there. And here is what the head coach said about why Raymond Polito was not there.
So Raymond Polito is going to be unavailable this season. And if I have any new information, I'll get it to you.
And then thoughts on left tackle, where that stands right now?
That's going to be something that we're going to have to work through over the next, couple weeks. Good news is we got a lot of time to do it.
All right, so there you go. I mean, you could just tell Brent Brennan, very short, very, very quick with his answers on the disappearance of Raymond Polito. And obviously that's a huge disappointment. That's a guy that was a projected starter. Not only is he a projected starter, but he's another one of those linemen who is projected to potentially be an NFL prospect. With him on this line, you got a pretty good offensive line. With him without this line, you got some questions now to be answered about who's going to play that position. It looks like the guy that's getting the first opportunity is a redshirt freshman by the name of Rhino Tapa-Atotai. Rhino Tapa-Atotai is how it is phonetically pronounced on the pronunciation guide that we got today in terms of the players. He is a redshirt freshman out of Utah. Went to he's out of West Valley City, Utah. You know, where's West Valley City? You know where that is, J-Dub? You're Mr. Utah.
The problem with Utah, DK, is every city has either a west or an east or a south or a north. Like all of them. I have no idea. It could. Right. My guess is it's on the east side of the state.
He went to a high school called Bishop Alamany. That sounds like one of those California high schools.
It does,
but he's listed as West Valley City, Utah. Anyway, Rhino Tapa-Atotai got the first go at left tackle today. We're also going to talk to Glenn Howell today. Glenn is very high on Rhino. And that might be we joked that Tapa-Atotai, that might be the last time. This is the first time, and it might be the last time you actually hear us say his last name on the radio, because we'll just be referring to him as Rhino.
Today I learned that West Valley City is just a suburb of Salt Lake, so it's like Mesa.
Like Mesa. Yeah. Okay, so there you go.
It's the southwest portion of Salt Lake.
All right, so Rhino Tapa-Atotai is at the moment got the first go with the ones at left tackle since Raymond Polito is no longer there. And again, this is Raymond Polito. He had some issues last year in terms of injury, had the bike accident early on, missed the first, I believe it was like 3-4 games, kind of played well in the middle of the season, then dropped off a little bit at the end, then got into the game. I believe it was the bowl game. So not something you want to see, but something that you got to deal with. He's not there. He's not going to be there. So you got to move on. Next man up, and it is Rhino Tapa-Atotai. is the redshirt freshman who will get the first go. So, yeah, and I mentioned Wendell Moy was out. So, essentially, you were working with a very unfamiliar left side of the offensive line today because you thought you had Polito at left tackle and you thought you had Wendell Moy at left guard, and neither one of those guys was there today. Well, Moy was there, but he was not running in the team drill. So Alexander Dost, or is the Dost? Yes, Alexander Dost is the current young man. He is also a redshirt freshman out of Phoenix, Arizona, a transfer from Northwestern. Got the first look at left guard. He wears number 60. If you're out there, he's 6'7", 295 pounds. Yesterday, we talked a lot about to me, what's going to be probably the most exciting battle of this camp, and that's the running back battle. What's going to happen with that? It was our question of the day yesterday. Let's go ahead and right now we can go ahead and wrap that up because I believe that question of the day has just gone final. And we can read you what the people said in terms of which Arizona Wildcats running back is going to have the most carries this season. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Rayshawn Luke, Kedrick Riscano, or Quali Connolly. The final vote came in 80% Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 20% Rayshawn Luke, Speedy, 0% for Kedrick Riscano and Quali Connolly. Interestingly enough, who took the very first running back rep of the fall? Quali Connolly in walkthrough. They opened the session with a walkthrough. Quali Connolly took the very first rep. But after that, it was pretty much Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt getting most of the reps with the ones at the running back position. Surprisingly, Rayshawn Luke was taking most of his reps with the twos and the threes to start things off. So it's very interesting. I asked Brent Brennan about this because you had a number of newcomers, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt being one. I mentioned that Traden Stukes was out, so you had Marquise Groves Killebrew, who is a transfer defensive back, redshirt sophomore from Texas A&M, was working with the ones. How do you decide that? Because neither one of those guys had practiced here, other than maybe going through the weight room, doing the workouts and all of that since they've gotten here. But how do you decide? How do you decide who makes up the ones in terms of some of these new guys that have never practiced here before? I asked Brent Brennan that. You'll hear his response to that coming up straight ahead as well. So that's what you've got so far. In the initial phase of practice, you had Quali Connolly and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill working at the top, and then Rayshawn Speedy Luke came in after that, along with Kedrick Riscano. So we'll look to see how that running back battle pans out. We're also going to hear from Alonzo Carter. Had a chance to catch up with the running backs coach and ask him about that, get his thoughts on it. Also, you'll remember we had that chat with our guy from over in New Mexico, Robert Portnoy, the voice of the Lobos, and he gave us that awesome comparison in terms of Bill Krosky-Merritt kind of being a smaller version of Eddie George. I asked Alonzo Carter his thoughts on that comparison. You will hear that today. So a lot of U of A football. The Diamondbacks continue to roll. They won big. I mean, there was nothing close about last night's win for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Washington Nationals, going for a sweep right now at Chase Field. We'll get you up to date on all of that and a whole lot more. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We want to hear from you as well. 520-848-1290. I'll go through my list of gibberish that I wrote down about the first practice today, guys who were on the field, some of the things that we saw, and all of that. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here as well. She gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported, we've got Thornydale and Ina, a hit-and-run wreck. Crash at Linda Vista and Thornydale. Grant Road to the east of Swan, a little bit of slowing there. River Road east of First Avenue, Tancaverde east of Sabino, and also Irvington east of I-19 at 16th Avenue. Flash flood warning until 4:15 and about 84 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Oh, I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage. Not available in all states.
Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal Más Tequila takes a modern and playful twist on authentic Mexican food, using only the freshest local ingredients. Reforma boasts Arizona's largest selection of mezcal and tequila, along with the creative list of margaritas and cocktails and house-made salsas, which are just some of the reasons Reforma has quickly become a Tucson favorite. Join them for a happy hour 7 days a week, a modern Mexican brunch, or for your favorite soccer games on their big screen TVs. Located at the southeast corner of River and Campbell in the beautiful St. Philip's Plaza, Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal Más Tequila for brunch, lunch, dinner, and late night in one of Tucson's premier restaurant locations.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you from Reforma, Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, located in St. Philip's Plaza on the southeast corner of Campbell and River. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this Reforma gift certificate will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Goodfellasac.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms
forms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Hard Knocks, off-season with the New York Giants, aired its final episode last night, and I just have to say it one more time, a quality season of Hard Knocks. Have you seen reports already that quarterback Daniel Dimes is having a really rough go of it? There were already doubts about this guy before he shredded his knee. Why would there not be twice as many doubts after the shredded knee? There's already talk now about getting Drew Lock first-team reps. I would rather watch Drew Lock than Danny Dimes any day of the week. I'm not even talking about what's best for the Giants. I'm talking about what's best for the viewer. Dimes is nap time. Lock at least brings some juice. It's gotten so bad that Tommy Cutlets is even talking junk. He really went on record and said, putting me on the practice squad would be, quote, a gamble. And even more hilarious is he might not be wrong.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I've been negligent this week. I've got a sweet deal coming up for you. I've not told you anything about it, and it's already Wednesday, so I'm going to tell you a lot about it today because, I got to get caught up on this stuff that I've been forgetting. But this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you. It's Reforma Modern Mexican up in my neighborhood at the St. Philip's Plaza. Love that place. You can get a $50 gift card for just $25. This sweet deal will go on sale this Friday, 8:30 a.m. at wildcatsradio1290.com. Reforma takes a modern and playful twist on authentic Mexican food using only the freshest local ingredients with Arizona's largest selections of mezcal and tequila, along with a creative list of margaritas and cocktails. Happy hour 7 days a week. Every day is happy hour at Reforma. Again, St. Philip's Plaza, which is located at River and Campbell. A sweet deal for you. Goes on sale 8:30 a.m. Friday morning over at wildcatsradio1290.com. $50 gift card for just $25. Jump on that for sure. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number. We're going to have all your Olympic updates. Again, we're going to update you. We're going to tell you what happened. I can't be worried about it if you haven't seen it already. Okay, so if you don't want to know about that, I'll tell you when I'm going to start talking Olympics. You can turn the channel off or do whatever you want to do, but we're going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to start right now with an Olympic update on the men's basketball team and let you know that they won today over the South Sudan, 103-86. The United States in pool play is now 2-0 on the men's side, and oh my gosh, they're in the ninth inning at Chase Field, and the Nationals have scored a run. Here we go. The Nationals have scored a run. I don't know if Paul Sewald pitching right now. He is on the mound. He is pitching. All right.
Young walked to start the inning. Then Abrams doubled to second, scoring Young, and now Yepes is on. There's one out, top of the ninth, 5-3 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so a little bullpen a little shaky tonight. Kevin Ginkel gave up 3 hits in his 1 inning of work. A.J. Puck, though, pretty solid 1 inning of himself after Gallen was nice. 6 innings, allowed just 1 run, 6 strikeouts. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Diamondbacks leading the Nationals right now 5-3, top of the 9th inning, trying to close out a 3-game sweep of the Nationals. Arizona, right as we speak, as a result of what happened last night, and we'll get to that coming up as well, sitting in the playoff picture, tied with the Mets for that 3rd playoff position in the National
Real
League.
quick, DK, back to that South Sudan team. That's the only team that gave the U.S. men's team a challenge in their exhibitions. They actually needed LeBron to kind of go crazy down the stretch of a game 2 weeks ago. DK, that team has 0 NBA players and 1 college player going to Duke next year, and took the U.S. men's national team with all these Hall of Famers right down to the buzzer. Obviously, this game, men's national team was a little bit more focused, but you got to tip your cap. I mean, that they won their first ever game in the Olympics the other day, so really, really happy to see teams like that against all these, 65 NBA players in the Olympics right now come in and do so well.
So we were talking a little bit about Arizona football. First day of practice today. I just, scribbled a bunch of notes on my notepad there. If you're watching on one of the main, we are streaming this show, by the way, on a number of video platforms. You can watch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. The first 3 at Wildcats Radio 1290. The last one, Twitter at Wildcats 1290. So flip on the show. We're talking about the left side of the line. The actual right side of the line, though, was pretty much as we expected to be. I mean, starting from the middle to the right, Josh Baker is back at center. He's a senior leader, as a number of us, I believe we talked. He's got over 25 to maybe 28 consecutive starts at the center position for the Arizona Wildcats. So he is back. And then the right side of your offensive line, you've got at the guard position, holding that down, Leif Magnuson, who I thought was fabulous last year, and is going to slot right into there to that right guard position to go along with the big Jonah Savianaya. That's a pretty nice right side of this offensive line. The question, though, is going to be early, the left side of this line with no Raymond Polito. In case you didn't miss it, you missed it in the first segment, Raymond Polito will not play for Arizona this season. And then Wendell Moy, who was limited. He was one of 3 potential starters who was limited today to go along with Tetro McMillan and Traden Stukes. Some of the other guys that got some action with the ones today, I mentioned Quali Connolly saw some action with the ones. So some of your wide receivers, as you might expect, Malachi Riley. He could be the guy that kind of slots in there as the new Jacob Cowing in the middle of that, right off the tight end there in the slot. So going to be interesting to see. He was a young man that got some playing time last year. He's got a lot of upside. And he kind of emerged from that group of guys, Malachi Riley, Kevin Green no longer here. He kind of emerged from that as being the next man up in terms of that. And, of course, you've got Montana Lamonius Craig, who figures to be the other guy opposite of Tetro McMillan as well. So those were some of the guys that got run with the ones. And then, of course, on the defensive side, we mentioned because Traden Stukes was out and not with the ones today, he was limited. A couple new guys there kind of working the cornerbacks. You got Takario Davis on the one side manning things, but you've got Emmanuel Carnley, who we saw a little bit of in the spring, kind of stood out in the spring game. He is a transfer, a redshirt freshman out of Antioch, California, so getting his first opportunity. But you do have a transfer in there, and Marquise Groves Killebrew, who comes over from Texas A&M. He also got some runs with the ones, and in fact made a nice pass breakup early in the session today. So a guy, look, if you're playing at Texas A&M, you're likely a guy you figure is going to have an opportunity to come in and make a difference on a team here at Arizona.
It's 33 out of 34 starts.
30 for Josh Baker.
Yeah, he started 7 out of his last 8 as a sophomore and then has started every game since.
There you go. The Washington Nationals have the bases loaded.
He walked three. Gave up a double, and now he got
Holy
pulled.
mackerel.
He got pulled. So
they took him out.
Ryan Thompson is in pitching with the bases loaded. Yeah.
Wow. That's some. Torey Lovullo has pulled his closer.
He walked
in the 9th inning.
Bro, he walked the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Then he got Vargas to ground out to first. Then he gave up a double. Then he walked Yepes,
3.
and then he walked Wood.
24 pitches. He's out of the game after a third of an inning. So Ryan Thompson, and this will be something interesting to follow now. If we've come to a part of this whole struggle for Paul Sewald, where it might be time to maybe make a little bit of a change there at the back end of this bullpen, because that's the last thing you want. I mean, you look at these games. Some of these games they've lost. They've been losing. You know, they've won 5 of 6, I think. But some of the losses recently have come late. It's not like they're losing games early. They're losing a lot of these games late now.
He blew 3 in a row, right? Like 2-3 weeks ago. I will say, I mean, we'll obviously get into more of this when we actually talk Diamondbacks, but they've won like 8 or 9 series in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's and that's really what it's all about. You want to go out there and you want to win series, and the Diamondbacks are doing just that. All right, one of the things that I noticed when I walked into the complex at 9 a.m. this morning for the first Arizona Wildcats practice, every coaching staff has their mantras. You know, with Jed Fish and company, it's personal. Well, the mantra, at least the one that is going to be very at the forefront for this staff, is called Red Line. And it was on one of the they had wrap up the fences with all the different bear downs and all of that. And at the one end of the field, the south end of the field near Fifth Avenue, they had the mantra up on the gate, and it's Red Line. It's called the standard for everything we do. And then it's got 3 kind of side mantras: effort, 100, 100. And I couldn't make out exactly what that meant. We didn't find that out until later on, what the 100, 100 means.
Maybe Simone Biles knows. She's pretty good at mottos.
Yes, she is. We'll get into that as well, because that was pretty interesting last night. I didn't know that apparently there's a feud between Simone Biles and Michaela Maroney. Apparently, maybe they don't like each other. I don't know. But that was pretty interesting last night after they won the gold medal. So effort, 100, 100. Execution, prove it. Accountability, own it, fix it. So that is what Red Line is all about in terms of visually what we saw. Let's hear from the head coach on what exactly all that means.
So Red Line is just going to be just kind of our buzzword, our battle cry for just how we're going to define a couple parts of our program: our effort, our execution, and our accountability. Just really, really simple, one word. All the players know what that means, or they're in the process of learning what it means and what it looks like. And so that's, I like to make things like that as simple as I can. I like kind of our team rules, kind of our buzzwords, our mottos. I like them to be very simple to say and simple to understand. And so that's what it is.
There you go. So Red Line, again, Red Line is the new mantra for Arizona football this year. This coaching staff led by Brent Brennan. Again, it is effort, 100, 100. Execution, prove it. Accountability, own it. Fix it. Red Line, the standard for everything the Wildcats do, and it appears the players are buying in early to this concept.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like what Coach said right there about trying to keep it simple, because the message is what's important, right? You get bogged down in, trust me, coming from a person who had to sit with clients, DK, and describe how it is you want your business card for your dentist's office or whatever. So relaying that information can be very complex. Keeping it simple and really sticking with that message. But to me, accountability, fix it. That's what it's all about. It's all about, shoulder to shoulder, be responsible for what your own actions. Be smart about that, and then take action, obviously, to fix whatever you need to fix.
All right, so what does the 100-100 mean? Let's hear from Noah Fafita and Dalton Johnson on that.
It's just kind of how we're gonna play as a team. We're gonna give 100 miles per hour, 100% of the time. We're gonna be accountable and we're gonna execute. So that's just kind of the mentality Coach Brennan's giving this team. That's how we want to be defined.
Just pedal to the metal, like Noah said, 100, all the time. We're gonna hold each other accountable, and we're just gonna get after it every time.
So 100, 100 miles per hour, 100% of the time.
Well, keep it 100 has been a thing now for a long time. It might be a millennial saying, but it's been in the pop culture now for 7, 8, 10 years, ever since the emoji. But the only thing better than that, DK, is 100, 100. I love the 100 miles an hour, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I just think that's a great relation to it.
There you go. So you can, don't forget, follow all of our camp coverage at Wildcats 1290 on Twitter. We'll have pictures for you daily. We'll have videos for you of everything. And, let's fire out that Diamondbacks download right there. How about that? We got a final at
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
5-3. Arizona knocks off the Nationals. Ryan Thompson comes in and gets it done to close out a 3-game sweep of the Nationals. Arizona moves to 58-51 on the season, 7 games above 500 and in the playoffs in the National League. Woo! Got dicey there in the 9th inning. Maybe we'll hear a little bit later from Torey Lovello on his decision to pull his closer. But Ryan Thompson comes in and shuts the door, and it's a sweep in Phoenix.
Came in with the bases loaded.
Yeah, bases loaded and one out. Not easy to do, but Thompson gets out of it, and the Diamondbacks win 5-3. We'll have highlights coming up for you for last night's game. We'll also get into the details of today's game. It's DK on the Sports Tip. My name's David Kelly. I got JW Madden here. We're going to have much more coverage of Arizona Wildcats football camp, the first practice of fall camp today. Cricket will also join us a little bit later. Right now, though, she is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Grant Road east of Swan. We've got Linda Vista and Thornydale. Irvington east of I-19 at 16th Avenue. Some little bit of busy travel for Grant Road west of Dodge Boulevard due to road work. Got a flash flood warning until 4:15 and about 85 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs, a whole new way to nug. The best nugs are now even better. Wendy's new Saucy Nugs take the nugs you love and sauce them up in bold flavors, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and spicy ghost pepper. Try them all today. For a whole new way to nug, it's gotta be Wendy's, a participating U.S. Wendy's.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetQL. The Cubs and Reds face off in an NL Central battle a day after the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Chicago will send out Kyle Hendricks to take on Nick Lodolo of the Reds. Hendricks is just 2-9 this season with an ERA just shy of 7. The BetQL model is expecting the Reds to be able to hit Hendricks. Their 5-star best bet in baseball today is grabbing the over between Chicago and Cincinnati. I'm Michael Jenkins. Bet smarter and beat the books with BetQL, and download the BetMGM app today.
There are many reasons you might need Dorado Rockin' Materials. A few bare spots in the yard, the driveway needs filling in, or it could be that the yard needs a whole makeover. Whatever the reason, if your yard has the summertime blues, Dorado Rockin' Materials has everything from sand to boulders and every rock and pebble in between. If you need help spreading it, we have options for that too. Call 400-4233. Dorado Rockin' Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Remember, you can hear all the action of Arizona men's basketball this season with Brian Jeffries on Amazon's Alexa by saying,
Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290.
The only place to hear Arizona men's basketball is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. Like most things in baseball, the trade deadline did not exactly pop the way it used to, but even if there was no huge blockbuster at the deadline this year, there was plenty of activity. Just ask Marlins fan. Better yet, ask Marlins fan to name even one player on the team this morning. Any player. They may not be able to. I'm Jim Rome. All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Let's continue talking about your red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, well, they won today. It was kind of dicey at the end. 5-4 was actually the final, so they did get an additional run there in that ninth inning.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw like four box scores all said the final was 5-3, and then I'm looking at the official Major League Baseball 5-4, yeah.
5-4. So 5-4 was the final. Diamondbacks hold on in the ninth. To win the game, complete the 3-game sweep, and keep a hold, and now on that number 3 playoff spot, wild card spot in the National League. So this game was not as easy as last night's game. Last night's game, after a tight one on Monday, was quite easy for the Diamondbacks. I have not seen it. Was this a baseball game, or was this the Cardinals versus the Commanders last night? Because if it was the Arizona got the shutout 17-0. Well, the defense was just on point last night.
They also happened to go up against a former Diamondback who's leading Major League Baseball in runs allowed right now. So.
His name is Patrick Corbin.
Left-hander and former Diamondback All-Star Patrick Corbin is out there for the Nationals tonight. He just turned 35 earlier this month, but another difficult season for Pat. No pitcher in the majors has allowed more earned runs. Gino Suarez in the cleanup spot. Suarez hits a fly ball deep to left, and there it goes. Oh boy, is he hot. That's 8 homers in his last 19 games, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Well, you can put him right in the number 4 slot, and look what he does. He just hammers this ball to left field. Oh, man, stay hot.
Eugenio Suarez, a.k.a. Gino, this was just the beginning of a very bad night for Patrick Corbin. It got real bad in the second inning when he could not get the last out.
The line moving. A run is in, 2 on and 2 out. Moreno single in the first. Gabby finds acres of space in left center, and it rolls to the wall. Perdomo scores. Here comes Cattell. Gabriel Moreno with a 2-run double, and it's 5-0. 4 hits in the inning against Corbin. 3 runs are home, and Gurriel the hitter. That one's going to drop in for a base hit. Moreno takes the turn. Gurriel heads for second. Make it 6-0 D-backs. 4 consecutive 2-out hits against Patrick Corbin. 4 runs home at 6-0. And you've got Gino Suarez stepping in after he launched a home run in the first to make it 2-0. Along the line, who wants it? Long run for Call. Yepez is out there. It drops in for a hit and a run. Make it 7-0. Now that's hot. Yepez, Garcia, Call, all were converging on that ball, and it dropped into the Bermuda Triangle just inside the line. That's 5 consecutive hits, and Grichuk is the 9th man to bat in the second inning. Randall slams it deep to left center. No one's going to get this one. Here comes Suarez. Randall Grichuk, the RBI double, and it's 8-0. They are all over Patrick Corbin. 6 consecutive 2-out hits. Season high 8 runs in the first 2 innings for the Diamondbacks, and they have batted around in the second against the former Diamondback. McCarthy, there's another base hit. Grichuk takes the turn. It's a 7-run second. And Jake is in there with a birthday RBI double. 9-0. 7 consecutive 2-out hits against Patrick Corbin. 3 of them are RBI doubles. They've had 5 consecutive RBI hits. 9 runs on 10 hits through 1 2/3. And it's going to be at least a 35-pitch second for Patrick.
9-0 after the second inning. 7 consecutive 2-out base hits.
I love that's my favorite.
Yeah, you don't get that too often. You don't get that too often.
My favorite moment in baseball is when a team, especially rallying from a deficit and a bunch of, stringing together a bunch of 2-out hits. It's just nothing better.
So Eugenio Suarez already with 3 RBIs in this game, had a 2-run home run and a single. He was not done. He came up in the 6th.
Gino Suarez leads off the inning. Good day for Gino. A homer in the first, an RBI single in the second. As his big-time July continues. Suarez bidding for one more, and there it goes, way back and gone. Gino Suarez owns July. Wow, he is having some fun. His second home run tonight, is 15th of the year. That was a no-doubter way up there, well over the bullpen.
Yeah, and how about one more?
Another big night in July for Gino Suarez. 2 more homers. He's also singled. He's got 4 RBIs. He's scored 3 runs. How about 3? Gino Suarez has hit 3 home runs. His second career 3-homer game. And it's been numbers 14, 15, and 16 for Gino. And it's a 5 RBI night.
It's still July.
Thank goodness.
Now, I don't think Gino hit a home run today, but he's going to finish the month with 10 home runs.
And he had 14 on the season, right?
Yeah.
So
10 home runs in the month of July. We don't play outside here, folks. Just an incredible month. If he's not the National League Player of the Month, then tell me who is. When you hit 10 home runs, holy macro. And what did he bat? Heck, what did he bat this month? 326? 326.
He did not hit a home run, but he went 2 for 4 today.
Yeah.
So,
so he probably will end the month hitting close to 340. A nice month for Eugenio Suarez. And at that point, the route was on. But, got Ryan Nelson with a 17-0 lead. You got to come in and finish that off nicely.
Lead. The offense has been the story, but Nelly has been terrific. Got him!
Ryan Nelson matches his season high with 9 strikeouts, 7 scoreless innings.
Candy as good as we've seen Ryan Nelson.
He's been just outstanding in this game. 7 strikeouts on his four-seam fastball when he really needs his pitch. The strikeout, that has really been his four-seam fastball.
Ryan Nelson, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. He is now 8-6 on the season. 17-0 the final last night. Torey Lovello on his power hitting third baseman, Eugenio Suarez.
First of all, it was a special day for Gino. I want to acknowledge that. You hit 3 home runs, it's 4 hits. He's had a terrific month. It's just not today. He's been doing it for the entire month of July. After a couple lean months, he really stuck with it. He started to change a couple of his work habits, just a little minor adjustments, and he's really taken off. And that was awesome watching that third one go over the fence. And he stuck with it, and everybody in the dugout was celebrating with him. Ryan Nelson also had a terrific day. When we were a little bit up against it with some overusage of guys, he throws 7 really strong innings. There was a point in time there around pitch 80-ish that I thought maybe we can get him through 8, but at 105, I didn't want to press that. But he was doing it by mixing up his pitches, had good life on his fastball, a lot of carry. The cut fastball, changeup, breaking balls, just a really good effort. And I watched everything go really, really well for him, not just the fastball, and that's the secondary stuff that he's been working on. You got 22 hits, a number of base runners, some really good run scoring opportunities. We just kept getting after it. We didn't shut down, and that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of 2 walks as a pitching staff. I'm proud of no errors as a defensive team. That means everybody was engaged for 8.5 full innings. And even though the score was extremely lopsided, the entire team was engaged and focused, and that's what stands out. I mean, I could go over highlights all day. Cattell with 3 hits, and Perdomo, Newman. I don't even know. Everybody had multiple hits. It was just a magical day. McCarthy, it was a magical day. Real good approaches, and we're going to enjoy it.
I mean, this is a guy, Gino Suarez, who, in 2019 hit 49 home runs for the Cincinnati Reds. He's sitting on 262 for his career. Last year, he drove in 96 runs. I don't know. I mean, if he stays hot like this, he could conceivably be a 25, 85 guy this season, which would be right around his recent career averages. I mean, he hit 31. He was 31.87 in 22 and 31.79 in 21. So
I've got his July numbers if you want.
Can you believe? Yeah, I mean, he hit 326 in July. He's only hitting 227 for the season.
28 of 86. 27 RBIs and, as you said, 10 home runs.
Insane. Now, 16 home runs on the season, 59 ribs. Let's hear from Gino.
Feel great, obviously. Feel awesome. Feel great. Have a day like this one today, 3 home run day. But at the same time, feel great to have the win. And not only the win, the series. I feel like it's been a long time to have a day like this one, and it's feel great. Feel proud of myself because I never give up. Never ever. Just working hard every day and have a day like this one is when I say the hard work pay off. So it's awesome.
It's awesome indeed, with a little drum beat there at the end. Suarez today, 2 hits, now hitting 230 on the season. Jake McCarthy had 3 hits today. He's now up to 294. Kevin Newman got in, the Arizona Wildcat, 1 for 2 in the ball game, and the Diamondbacks win it by a score of 5-4. Zach Gallen gets the win, 9-5, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. That's good to see for Zach Gallen as the Diamondbacks complete the sweep. And again, they're in the playoff picture now in the National League. So things looking good as they head out onto the road to Pittsburgh. So it'll be now Kevin Newman. I think this will be the first time Kevin Newman. No, actually last year I think because he was the Reds last year. So it's not, he's been back to Pittsburgh. That was the team that drafted him. He came to the big leagues with, but it'll be great to see him go back and pitch again. I don't know if we are going to get Skeens in this.
I'll look it up.
On this particular round. It does not appear that Skeens is slated to pitch in either of the next 3 games. So how about that? The Diamondbacks are going to play the Pirates 6 times in 9 days and not get Paul Skeens in either series.
Hey, that's kind of lucky, huh?
Yeah.
I will say this to wrap up their previous month, basically. They won June 28th was the series versus the A's. They won that series. Next series, they won versus the Dodgers. Next series, they won versus the Padres. Then one after that was a 4-game series, right, with the Braves. They'd actually tied that series, DK, 2-2. Then they won versus the Blue Jays, Cubs, Royals, Pirates, Nationals. That's 8-0-1 in their last 9 series.
That's pretty good. And you know where they go after Pittsburgh?
Where's that?
Cleveland.
The Guards.
Cleveland for the Guards. Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll have our eyes all over that series right there. All right, 1 hour in the books. DK, the sports tip. Much more coming up for you. We're going to talk to Glenn Howe. Glenn Howe was out of practice today for the opening of fall camp. We'll get Glenn's thoughts on it. Wildcat breakdown. First breakdown of the 2024 season. You'll hear from Alonzo Carter, Brent Brennan, Noah Fafita, Dalton Johnson, all straight ahead. DK on the sports tip. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported at Ina and Thornydale, a hit-and-run wreck, Grant Road east of Swan, and also Linda Vista and Thornydale. And we do see some on and off slowdowns on Grant Road west of Dodge Boulevard due to road work. Flash flood warning until 4:15 and 84 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp. Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Swimming is concluded for the day in Paris with the first world record of these Summer Games. Pan Zhang Li of China won gold in the men's 100 free with a time of 46.40, besting his previous world mark by 0.4 of a second. Katie Ledecky won her 12th career Olympic medal and 8th career gold in the women's 1500 free. Ledecky's Olympic record time of 15:30.02 allowed her to cruise to the finish line more than 10 seconds ahead of the field. Ledecky is now tied for the most Olympic medals and gold medals among American women, with 2 more events to come on her Paris schedule. And the American duo of Austin Krajicek and Rajiv Ram ousted Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz in straight sets today to advance to the semifinals. The loss ends these games for Nadal, who bowed out of the singles tournament on Monday with a straight set 6-1, 6-4 loss to Novak Djokovic. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1, find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Wellness means something different to each of us. And at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we believe every step is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. Whether it's guided group runs and workout gear on demand, or nourishing food options and restorative rest in our heavenly bed. When you travel, you can find wellness at Westin, one of 30 hotel brands in the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio. Find wellness at Westin.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, will arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Really? Really free. That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, will arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in 1 day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any money.
What? What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan AC service guarantee will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-345-2789. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-345-2789. 800-345-2789 or biglou.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona Wildcats football. From fall camp to the Territorial Cup, we bring you all the action of Arizona football. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly. It's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late?
No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions on U of A football. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona football. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Let's break down Arizona Wildcats football with the guy that I've been breaking it down with since 2010. Glenn Howe joins us, U of A football class of 1985. The tight end, he was out for the first day of practice today. Glenn, glad to have you back once again, and glad to have football back with this new regime led by Brent Brennan and company.
Well, Dave, I've been counting the minutes and the seconds and the days, and just excited about what the Arizona Wildcats are going to put on the field this year. And going to practice was just great to see the guys, after a long summer of, getting bigger, getting stronger. And there was some transformation of some bodies. I noticed some guys, and we'll get into that a little bit. But, there's some guys that have just changed their bodies, and it's just been really good to see that. And they're ready. It looks like they're ready to go. Even though it's the first day of practice, there's a lot of competition going out there. And they did a little end zone inside the 20 stuff a lot. And I thought it was really a good practice to watch.
Well, Dalton Johnson, speaking of guys getting bigger, Dalton Johnson even said afterward in the interview room that he's put on some weight. They've got him listed as 200 pounds this year, a lot of lean muscle mass. You're a guy that obviously works in that field. When does that process start? How is that process monitored by, the Cullen Carroll and his staff to make sure that the guys that are trying to add weight are doing that correctly?
Well, they have so much technology, those guys. It's really great to have all the technology that they have, measuring percentage of body fat. They have scanners and stuff, things like that. And then what they really have that we didn't have is that they can dial in the diet. They can dial in when they go to training table. They're going to eat this. I don't know if they do a color table, or they do some other numeral table of what the guys would get, what they need to eat. If the guys are trying to gain weight, they can only eat these colors on the menu. And then the guys, that are trying to lose weight, they can only eat this, So they really dial that in. With us, man, they used to just bring out the trays and go to town. Okay, so that's that we used to do. And then the coach would just say, "Man, don't be eating a lot of that." We would just go in there and just get down and go to town. But these guys are really dialed in. They have a full-time nutritionalist on staff, so they're really dialed in. And I really like the way some of our guys are looking.
So who was it? Who did you see that kind of, in terms of that, maybe added muscle stood out to you?
Sicario. On the sideline, because he was, he wasn't participating a lot, but just to look at him, how he used to be. I used to be able to floss my teeth with his legs, But now he has totally just been. He's gotten bigger. He really has gotten bigger. They list him at 195. I don't think he was maybe 170, 175 maybe last year. I think some of the linemen I thought were looking good. There were some guys. Jonah looked good. He looked more like lean, compact. Instead of like kind of sloppy when he first got here. But these guys are getting lean. Ukulele, he looked good too. There's a lot of guys, that I think that were just looking. And then even Chubba looked lean for a big, for a big guy. He looked, pretty, I describe him as compact, not
a lean 350.
Sloppy. Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Not sloppy though, Dave. They're not big sloppy guys. I mean, I didn't really see that, which I was really excited about seeing those guys. And it just, and the wide receivers I think have gotten bigger, and they just seem, Rex Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he used to, I used to floss all my teeth with his legs, okay? But he's really gotten a lot of more size on him, and he's a legit 6'4", and he's gotten a lot bigger, and he's getting a lot more reps too. So I'm really excited about those guys. Elijah Payne used to be, he was a 270, 280 guy. Now I think he's like at least 300. They list him at 310, but I think he's got to be. He looked big. He used to be like a tight end that was becoming an offensive lineman. But now he's looking like an offensive lineman.
Breaking down Arizona Wildcats football with Glenn Howe, the tight end, class of 1985. First day of fall camp today. The big news, obviously, Glenn, was the announcement that Raymond Polito will not play for Arizona this season. Don't know what that means for the long-term future. We were talking about in the first hour that the young man that got the first run at left tackle, his name is Rhino Topa Ototai.
Yeah.
We joked that might be the last time we say his last name. We'll just refer to him as Rhino, but this is a guy you're high on.
Yeah, I like Rhino. He's a physical kid. He just looks lean, and he's 310. I was like 310. He looks like he's like 280, But I like his aggressiveness. He's a great athlete, and Rhino, if you're listening, man, I'm gonna learn how to say your last name right. Okay, we're gonna give you that respect. I'm gonna learn. I don't want to chop it up now, but I'm gonna learn how to say that name because I think he's gonna be really good. So there's got to be some guys.
Tapa Ototai.
Tapa Ototai. Rhino Tapa Ototai.
Yeah.
So Rhino, I thought he looked good today. I think those guys, Alexander Dose looked good. I thought, the guy from Northwestern. There were some big guys out there that were looking pretty good, and on the offensive side of the ball, and then on the defensive side of the ball, there's some guys I think we're looking good, but losing Raymond, that was just disappointing to hear that, man. But the key thing that I liked what Brent said, that he is not playing this season.
Right.
So that means that he's not totally gone. Okay? So it's this season. So I hope, I pray for the kid. I hope the kid, that Raymond's okay. Him and his family is okay. And I'm sure we'll get more information, but I hope everything's good for him mentally and physically, and especially with his family, because that can be some family stuff that's going on. And hopefully, I don't want to speculate, but I just hope the best for him.
The one battle, I think, and we've been saying this for the last week, that's going to be very interesting to watch, Glenn, is the running back room. With all those guys back there. The one thing that kind of stood out to me in terms of watching Alonzo Carter coach for the first time was he was all over Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt about, I guess their term for high pointing that football is chin up. Chin that ball. They want that ball up by the chin, and it looked like Ja'Cory was carrying it a little bit low, and Alonzo was getting on him that that's the quickest way to a fumble if he doesn't have that ball up by his chin, and he was making sure that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt got that message today on the first day of practice.
Well, you can't blame him. He's a redshirt senior. He's been there 8 years. So you got to be able to get on a guy like that. We don't know if he had a COVID year or a redshirt senior year. The guy's been here a long time, so he needs to understand that he's got to lead by example, because he's the old dog in the house. So he needs to lead by example, because you got some young guys, Reese Cano and Conley. Conley's a senior too, but those guys need to really be leading by example, and that's good that the coaches are on them. And I'm telling you, I just remember my first day, all I was hearing is a lot of yelling. I remember it was just a lot of yelling, because you guys got to get in the mood of getting coached and getting back in and not making mistakes, because that's when you start. So first day, you try to knock off those mistakes. Each day as the camp goes on, each day you get less and less mistakes. That's what they're doing. So they're getting on them early, and that's what great coaches do.
Glenn, in terms of how, and I asked Brent Brennan this question, and we'll hear it coming up here later on in the hour. You've got a number of these transfers, obviously, that are coming in nowadays from other programs, guys that have played at high-profile programs like Marquise Groves-Killebrew, the defensive back from Texas A&M, was running with the ones. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt from New Mexico, 1,200-plus yards last year, was running with the ones. How does that and these are two guys that had never practiced for Arizona until today, but they immediately start with the ones. How do you think those decisions are made in Lowell Stevens football facility when you're trying to figure out, okay, who's gonna get the first reps? Yeah, I was maybe a little bit surprised that it wasn't Rayshawn Luke getting the first reps, because he's the guy that's been in the program the longest. How do you think those conversations are going down?
Well, I think they already know what Rayshawn can do, so they don't really need to look at what he's got to do. They want to put these guys in the fire right away. Let's see what you got. You come on over here, you're in our program. Now we're going to put you in the fire with the ones. You're not going to go against the scout team. We're going to get you against the ones. So I think that's a great thing to do when you bring these new guys in. Let's see what they can do and how they can handle the pressure. The pressure of being a one, there's a lot of pressure now, especially for kids nowadays, because someone can come in the portal and take your stuff. So you may not even know he's there behind you, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's there. So they want to put the pressure on these guys and see what they can do, how they can perform, right when they get into the fire. They want to throw them right on the hot stove right now. Just put them in there, and then let's see what they can do. And I think that's a great idea to do. And these guys, some of these guys showed up and played very well today.
All right. Practice number 1, Glenn, in the books. Practice number 1 of many before we get to August 31st, which will be 1 month from today in the season opener against New Mexico. Looking forward to hashing all this out over the next month with you and Kelvin Ifan as we get ready for the season opener.
Well, absolutely. Looking forward to going out to a couple more practices and bear down, baby. We're getting ready to go. I can't wait.
Glenn Howell, Arizona football class of 1985.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
All right, we will hear from the, let's see, who we're going to hear from. We're going to hear from the head coach next. He is Brent Brennan after practice number 1 of fall camp. It's DK on the sports tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Play social games online for free. Head to ChumbaCasino.com now to join the Chumba fun and experience the thrill of the Chumba life. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collision at Ina and Thornydale and Ina. Anklam and Silverbell for pavement improvement work, and Anklam at Silverbell is closed for paving work. And for your weather, there is a chance for some monsoon action, and 85 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, will arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free.
That's our Polar Bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
with
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in 1 day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What?
What? I just said with Alaskan AC.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Good to see you, Bruce Feldman, the Big 12 landscape. I just know how Dion is, where he's coming from. His wins are measured differently. The question is, as you said, it's got to go from 4 to 8.
I think they can do that. It would be hard not to get better considering how bad they were on the offensive line last year. Now, their schedule actually feels harder this year than it was last year.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Bears and wide receiver DJ Moore reached a deal on a 4-year, $110 million contract extension with $82.6 million guaranteed, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Meantime, Bears fans will have to wait at least another week to see their rookie quarterback Caleb Williams in live game action. Head coach Matt Eberflus announced no starters, including Williams, will play Thursday night in the Hall of Fame game against the Texans. Elsewhere, Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson was back on the field as a limited participant while dealing with a calf injury. Head coach Mike Tomlin saying of Wilson, quote, "We'll play it day to day and play it by ear and do what's appropriate on a day-to-day basis." Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs was also back on the practice field Tuesday after being activated from the PUP list. Diggs has been recovering from a torn ACL he suffered last September. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. I knew we could not put off getting life insurance. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050 or go to SelectQuote.com now. That's 1-800-452-5050. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Day number 1 of fall camp for your Arizona Wildcats is in the books. Cats practiced this morning over at the Tomey Fields, and afterwards we got a chance to hear for the second straight day from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. His name is Brent Brennan. Let's hear what Brennan had to say about the opening of camp and how he felt about it.
It was great. It was great to be out there. I love how much this team enjoys practicing and being together. Inheriting a more mature such a fantastic football team in this situation. And then really the difference between when they look great and they're flying around. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a fun first day.
Jason and Brian and then Michael. 2 questions. One, what can you tell us about the...
Now, do you get to ask two? Sounds like you're cheating.
A little bit.
Okay.
What can you tell us about Redline, the shirt, and then we saw it out on the field, just how you came up with that?
Yeah, so Redline is just going to be just kind of a, our buzzword, our battle cry for just how we're going to define a couple parts of our program, our effort, our execution, and our accountability. Just really simple, one word. All the players know what that means, or they're in the process of learning what it means and what it looks like. And so that's I like to make things like that as simple as I can. I like the kind of our team rules, our kind of our buzzwords, our mottos. I like them to be very simple to say and simple to understand. And so that's what it is.
The 2 newcomers that we saw on the field today, Jared Small and Lachlan Punter, what can you tell us about them?
Well, I mean, those things happen kind of fast. We're looking for a couple spots to fill, and I think they'll add some competition to those positions. They both played a lot of football, and I'm excited to see what that looks like. That's going to be that's going to be a heavy evaluation process. Right now, like in terms of what that's going to look like when they play, almost as much as I do.
Brian, Michael.
How did today compare to your first day at San Jose, that first year, and then maybe that year with Coach Tomey here in Arizona?
I would say that I think the biggest difference for me the first day here versus the first day at San Jose was I just felt so much better prepared for this day. Right, I've been a head coach for a while now. I know I've been through a lot of first days. I think that I'm also inheriting a more mature football team in this situation. And then the difference between when Coach told me, like, you know, I don't know how old I was, but I know I didn't know much then, you know. So, you know, coming looking at it from the position of graduate assistant to being a head coach, like there's a lot of life, there's a lot of football in that 24 years, and so drastically different. My wife would tell you the same because we were newlyweds at the time. Now she's been stuck with me for 24. You know, she maybe doesn't think it's as good of a deal.
What is the plan for T-Mac as far as building him up over the course of the next month?
You know, that's in the hands of our medical staff, and so, you know, they have in our strength and conditioning staff and the doctors. So they all have a very clear plan for him. He's making great progress. We're very optimistic about how it looks.
Would you say that in a situation like this with a star player who's very important to a team, who has NFL aspirations, that you want to be cautious?
Sure.
Being on that side?
Sure, we're always going to do what's best for T-Mac. We'll always do what's best for the player in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, we don't ever want to rush a player to playing, right? Like, so we're always, those decisions are not coaching decisions, ever. Those are medical decisions and player decisions, family decisions.
Troy and then David.
A little bit on that as well. Has it kind of surprised you how fast he's come along and just to the point of where he is right now working with the strength staff? Is it a little ahead of schedule or just where you guys kind of predicted it being?
I think he's where he should be, and that doesn't surprise me at all. First of all, he's very young. He's got a fantastic, you know, he's blessed with this incredible healthy body, right? He's just healing fast and recovering quicker than somebody old like me would.
And then in terms of the offensive line, you guys added a lot there for the transfer portal. What did it feel like having those guys out there and just seeing what they can do on the football field?
I think I need to watch some film on that. That's, you know, I mean, all that's moving so fast. I'll have a better answer for you that in a couple days or a week.
David and Justin.
Brent, some of your newcomers were slotted in with the ones. How do you go about making those decisions with guys that you haven't seen? And is it very much like an NFL process where you sign a free agent and know that that's a guy that's potentially going to be at the top of your depth chart?
I don't know if it's necessarily like that. You know, the NFL thing's so different because they can just grab people in the middle of the season. Like, we don't get to do that, right? So for us, it's probably a little more front-loaded where we have, you know, 30-something days to get the team ready to play. We got to figure out early who has a chance to get in that mix, right? And so I think for us, we're just trying to give everybody a chance. Early in camp, there's lots of reps for everybody. And then that kind of that pecking order, that depth chart starts to set itself. You know what I mean? And you start to see like, okay, we need to get this guy more or that guy more. So this guy less, that guy less. So you just decide on how it looks when you start, you know, really practicing. And we're in shorts too, right? Like your question about the O-line, like we're in shorts, you know. So it's really hard to evaluate that stuff.
Are there things that you look at though right away in these first few days to kind of begin that evaluation?
Yeah, every day is an evaluation for players and coaches, every day.
We saw him in the spring. We didn't see him out there today. What's the status of Raymond Polito?
So Raymond Polito is going to be unavailable this season, and if I have any new information, I'll get it to you.
And then thoughts on left tackle where that stands right now?
That's going to be something that we're going to have to work through over the next, you know, couple weeks. Good news is we got a lot of time to do it.
What's the schedule practice-wise as far as when you expect to go first full pads and maybe first time that you take the guys to the ground?
I'm not sure. I don't, like, we have that all planned out. I really don't operate that way. I'm like today. I'm just worried about today. And I think we put shells on day after tomorrow. And so, and then the full padded stuff, how much taking people to the ground will do, I'm not sure yet. That's an ongoing staff discussion or a staff debate or a staff argument or whatever you want to call it. But that's always an intense conversation just because it's so complicated.
Jenna in the back and then Jason.
So I had some of the conversations with receivers out there. What are those conversations like right now as you're trying to figure out who might join, you know, T-Mac and Montana out there?
Well, I think really just obviously that's a position that I played, that I coached all of my career. So I feel like sometimes there's times where I can see something that, if Bobby's on the other side of the field that he doesn't see. And so if I see something, I coach it. And it happens at every position, but it's probably harder for Bobby Wade there. But he's great. He doesn't mind it because and I know how that feels. Having been a receiver coach, there are times where you can't see the other side of the field because you're locked into this combination here, and then something happens over there, and it's 50 yards away. And so if someone can coach it real time, that's better than waiting to coach it off of the film.
And what are you looking for out of that group, like for someone to kind of emerge?
I'm excited about that group. I think the guys that we added this spring, I'm really excited to see what they can do, added post-spring ball. And then I think there's a big group of guys. There's kind of like a log jam there after the first 3 or 4 guys, and someone needs to separate there. I think that's the beauty of football is that they're all going to get reps, and those reps are going to dictate who moves up the ladder and who doesn't. And so that's a huge part of training camp is starting those things starting to separate and decide themselves, and we'll make those evaluations daily as we go.
I know you're still evaluating the offensive line, but when you move guys around, like Jonas Avenea, for instance, do you consider maybe we should move him to left tackle, or do you just like him where he is? How do you kind of decide in terms of versatility there?
Honestly, a huge part of that is I trust Coach Oglesby to make those determinations. You know what I mean? Now, there are some times where we'll have a discussion with me and the offensive staff, and it'll go back and forth, but I have an incredible amount of faith in Big Josh. And so if he thinks it's a good way to start, then let's see how it looks for a day or two. And if it doesn't look good, like, hey, man, we need to come up with something different, right? But, I think we all know what a good player Big Jonah is. And so, I think he could play anywhere.
Last question, Mike. In terms of portal acquisitions, how would you describe what the program strategy was once you kind of figured out what you
I think our portal philosophy in general is going to be more of a kind of like how you in the past have recruited junior college players. Like it would be 2 things. It would be like immediate need, like hey, we need someone that can step in and play at this position right now better than we think it's being played. Or it would be, hey, there's a really good player who's been at a place for 1 or 2 years. He can be a really good player for us for 2, 3, 4 years, right? So we'll evaluate both those things. And so those positions are plugged into kind of based how the roster is looking, right? You don't, as much as you can avoid it, you'd like to not be in a position where you're graduating 9 offensive linemen in 1 season, right? You would like to have some depth by age, right? And so you're always trying to plug those pieces in. So we might be looking for a guard, and Josh is like, hey, we're senior heavy there, like this, or junior and upperclassman heavy. Then I'm saying, okay, we're going high school or portal that's somewhere in his 1st or 2nd year. That would be how we would think about it.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats football team, Brent Brennan, after practice number 1 today. We'll hear from the players coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Noah Fafita and Dalton Johnson spoke. Also going to hear from running backs coach Alonzo Carter. Had a chance to talk to him about this running back battle, which started today with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt kind of getting the first bit of run there with the ones. And interesting kind of what Glenn said there, and we'll get into that as well, about how, you know what you've got from Speedy. So even if Speedy might be your lead guy or the guy that you currently maybe have on the board in the facility as number 1, you need to see what Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt can do. You need to see, you saw Quali Conley in the spring, but you need to see what Krosky-Merritt and Riscano can do, because you have not seen them. So maybe they get more reps here early in camp, because you got to find out quickly what they can and cannot do and how they're going to slot into this whole process. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Joined by the 3rd member of our program. Her name is Cricket.
Hello.
Okay, so Cricket, did you vote yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I feel like it just doesn't ever matter.
Oh,
but then again, when you really think about, for me,
so you're that person?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I vote. The votes are always already counted before, like, I know they could even count mine. You know what I mean? Like, so I just feel discouraged. But yeah, I guess I am that person. And just imagine if everyone felt like me.
Right.
Our
Nobody
generation,
would vote.
Jeez.
Our generation got a lot of that, like, growing up. Yeah. And so, like, I know a lot of people who are in their, mid-40s, 50, whatever, our age-ish, and they kind of have a similar sentiment.
So I can't have the conversation with you that we had yesterday. So my pet peeve about voting is that we're back to writing filling in the little circle.
Like with the pencil.
With the pencil.
Yeah.
The pen. Well, it's a pen now.
Oh,
yeah,
pen.
but,
Okay.
But you have to, the circle is long length left to right. So you have to fill it in. I can't do it like that. It's much easier for me to fill the circle in if it's long ways up and down.
Up and down. Oh, kind of
right.
like, okay.
So when I went to vote yesterday, I had to constantly keep reading my ballot,
and then
turning my
sideways
ballot to fill it in so I can fill
good
it
for
in,
you.
turning it back to read it, turning it this way to fill in the circles because I can't. I always failed that. When you took tests in school and you had to fill in the circles, the standardized tests, I was the one who always had all these lines coming out of the circle because I just couldn't do that. I can't do that. So I have to I have to do it up down versus
Side
left
to side.
to right. So do you have a preference with that?
I don't know. I'm left-handed, so I write kind of weird.
A lefty.
Yeah, I write weird anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Kathy checks in on the text group. Kathy, who happens to be my wife.
Oh, hey, Kathy. Hi.
She says, well, if you mail in your ballot, you could sit down to complete it.
And maybe take your time and perfect it. Make it perfect.
Because I don't mail my ballot. I'm one of those people, I go and I vote on election day. Because that's to me, that's when you're supposed to do it. So
you want all those smells of the election
early.
Booths and buildings, right?
I want to talk to
cut
the
grass
I
on
want
the
to
first day of
touch
football
the
practice.
people.
Sure.
I walked into my voting place and the lady recognized me and she was like, I thought I knew you from somewhere. And then the guy said my name and she's like, you're the guy on television. And I was like, well, yeah, I was on TV. I'm not on TV anymore. But I just like to talk to the people. There's people that are volunteering their time for our election process. And so I feel like if I'm just filling it out and mailing it in, that I don't get to thank those people for their work.
Well, you're on the opposite end of the spectrum where it's you want to participate in the process.
Yeah,
that's participating in the process.
That's right. That's
good for you.
So I go on election day, and we got it, but we got to get the circles going the other way. So who do I contact about that? Who do I need to call, J-Dub, to get the circles going up and down versus left?
Well, I don't know who to call, but I do know that if we find that person and the wheels start turning, that change will be made in 2078.
Yes,
so,
they'll get right on that for you.
It'll take that long.
Yeah,
they'll get right on that.
Yeah. All right, we didn't get really hit by the storm. It looked like it was going to get bad out there, but it didn't, Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
No? So tell us what's happening out there right now.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Harrison and 29th Street, a stalled vehicle and road work. Country Club in Glen. Southbound on Country Club approaching Glen down to one lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. There is a flash flood warning until 5:30 for Central Pima County, and I don't know if I believe this, 85 now. So, not bad, right? 85?
That's nice.
That's what the thermometer says.
I stepped outside. It seemed like it was definitely cooler.
Kind of cool, yeah. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free.
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know, if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
with
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee. Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free. Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What?
What? I just said with Alaskan
With Alaskan
AC.
AC service guarantee will arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizon. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. As seen in off-season Hard Knocks when welcoming in Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Rome Dunze for a visit, it was made clear that Brian Daboll and Mike Grove, the Giants, thought Neighbors was the best out of the three. I have high expectations for all three. However, not only do I think Harrison Jr. will be the best wide receiver from this draft, but I think he's the best player, period, from the 2024 class. I'm Zach Gelb.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Don't forget, you can also text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290, and you can download our app that way. All kinds of great stuff on our app. If you were not aware, the Diamondbacks did make a deal at the deadline yesterday, acquiring first baseman Josh Bell, who is obviously some insurance for Christian Walker, who's on the injured list right now. So you can find out a little bit about Josh Bell and who he is. Also, the Suns signed a deal with point guard Tyus Jones. You can read about that. Tyus Jones met the media. If we have some time, we'll get that to you today. If not, we'll hear from Tyus Jones tomorrow. That's a $3.3 million deal. You can read all about who Tyus Jones is if you go to our app, and we'll start getting you some more stuff in terms of your Arizona Wildcats as well, with practices starting. Soccer yesterday, fall camp for football began today. Volleyball, I would imagine, if not today or yesterday, is also starting up on campus. We were talking about my pet peeve around voting. The election primaries were yesterday here in the state of Arizona. We'll go over some of the results of that in case you did not get those. Carrie Lake wins the Republican primary for U.S. Senate. The former news anchor from up in Phoenix defeated Sheriff Mark Lamb. Mark Lamb is the sheriff of Pinal County, just to our north. Carrie Lake wins that one by 16 points, getting 55% of the vote. So she will face Ruben Gallego to replace Kirsten Sinema, who is not running for re-election. Other interesting races last night in terms of Pima County. You had the county attorney race on the Democratic side, which was won by Laura Conover. Mike Jetty was trying to unseat the incumbent there, but she won by 34 points in that one. Chris Nanos wins his primary for sheriff. So he will face Heather Lappin, who won the Republican primary by just about 3,000 votes over Bill Phillips. So it'll be Heather Lappin against Chris Nanos for sheriff here in Pima County. How about this, J-Dub, the former sheriff of Maricopa County? You remember the Joe Arpaio?
Yeah, he liked pink a lot, right?
Yeah. I don't thought, did he? Did
he like dressing
pink?
inmates in pink.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
Dressing inmates in pink.
Yep.
He actually ran for mayor.
Yeah.
Up in, I believe it was Fountain Valley, or Fountain Hills. I'm sorry, Fountain Valley. Fountain Hills up in the valley, but lost, did not win for mayor. So no
he's
longer
getting
sheriff.
real old, right?
He is.
I mean, how old is that guy at this point?
He's got to be in his 80s.
I'll have to look it up.
If not, again, you know my rule. Anybody over the age of 75 should not be seeking public office. And so
92.
92. Are you serious?
Mr. Joe Arpaio is 92 years old.
That's crazy.
Yes.
All right. The U.S. Congressional District number 6, Juan Ciscomani, wins the Republican primary. He beats Kathleen Wynn by 19 points. He is the incumbent. You heard Kathleen Wynn's commercials all over our station for the last 2 months. Didn't do very well for her because she lost by 19 points. So Juan Ciscomani will now face Kirsten Engel. This is a rematch of the last election in District 6, which Ciscomani won. So he is trying to beat her for a second straight time. All of that information there, a lot of great things happening in terms of your elections. Hope you got out and voted and didn't hurt your back doing so, leaning over to try to make those circles work.
You know, for a long time, DK, just personally, like, in my 20s, I kind of had the same attitude as cricket. But I voted, I think, in the last, 20 years, 20 elections or so. And the whole sentiment of like my vote doesn't matter. If you look at a lot of these results, even some of the national results, like for instance, Connolly beat Garcia by 29 votes. And there's quite a few races you'll see. So when you think of that whole concept of my vote doesn't matter, it's just one vote. Well, not really. A lot of if everybody kind of who had that same idea in their head did participate in our democracy, it would probably be a little bit different. Because a lot of these are very close races.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No question that they are very, very close races. All right. Olympics in Paris. We're going to talk Olympics for the final part of this hour. So if you don't want to know anything about that, then turn us off and come back at about 5 o'clock when we get back to talking about Arizona football. Unfortunately, in the synchronized platform diving, things did not go well for Delaney Schnell and her partner Jessica Parado. You might remember that they won the silver medal in Tokyo several years ago, 3 years ago to be exact. Should have been 4 years ago, but there was a pandemic. So it was back in 2021. Unfortunately, Delaney Schnell and Jessica Parado finished 6th in the 10-meter synchronized platform diving event, falling short of getting that or trying to repeat as the silver medalist. Let's hear from Delaney Schnell and Jessica Parado after today's event in Paris, France.
I think it's important to say, you know what, like we've medaled in the last Olympics. It doesn't take away from that simply because we're not on the podium this final time. That achievement is just as incredible, and I don't want this experience to take away from that or this whole experience in general. And also, like I said back there with Andrea, is that it's just about the journey in the end. Got to appreciate the journey, not the result. So, Jessica, what do you think?
I think we're just really proud of what we've been able to do in our career as a whole, and that's what we have to remember. It's a little disappointing, obviously, just knowing that it's kind of, looking at the scores, it was kind of an open field, I suppose, to get up there. So I know what I'm capable of, and I just really wanted to perform that. But again, it's not about just this. It's so much bigger than that. So I'm more grateful to be next to her and experience this whole journey with her more than anything.
I imagine the mental aspect is tough. When every time you get up there, you're probably doing the math, you're preparing for your dives. I mean, tell me a little bit about what was going through your minds as you were getting ready to go back up there.
Yeah, just one dive at a time. You always got to remember whatever happens on one dive, you got to move on, even if it's good, bad. It's really important to just take it one dive at a time.
Yeah, same here, and just kind of fight as much as we can. Nothing was perfect, of course, but we really wanted to fight as much as we could the whole time. So that's what we did.
And it was huge for you to come back after deciding that Tokyo could be your last. Tell me about this experience, being here, being a 3-time Olympian representing USA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad I came back. I would not want to miss this opportunity for the world, and it's just so much more special to do this for a second time and with her. So yeah, I mean, I will obviously cherish this entire experience for the rest of my life, and now be able to call myself a 3-time Olympian is super special.
And the two of you have a special relationship and history, like you mentioned. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I mean, I don't want to get emotional. Yeah, she just means a lot to me.
She's just like my little mama, my dive mama.
Sorry, it's just hard to put into words, and I know that the energy we have together is really special, and yeah, I could feel it today, and it doesn't take away, results just doesn't matter. I'm so proud of us. Yeah.
And Delaney, you're not done yet, right?
No.
We're going to see you again.
Yes.
So how do you shift the mindset on to the next one?
You got to use it as motivation, I mean, obviously I would have loved to be up there on the podium again with her, but in the end, I still have another opportunity to be up there, and I have another opportunity to show what I can do, and I know that it's just going to make me better in the end. It's going to make me better, so.
And Jessica, you talked about the importance, like looking forward to having your family here. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you to have them here in this moment?
Oh, so much. I know they're enjoying it so much and having a blast every single day, so I can't wait to hang out with them when I'm done and, just do everything with them here and experience Paris. So
All right, Jessica Parado and Delaney Schnell. That was their post-diving interview today after they finished sixth on the 10-meter platform. Again, unable to duplicate the silver medal winning performance that they had over in Tokyo, but still a great run by those two. I mean, Jessica Parado was going to retire, and Delaney convinced her to give it one more go, and they gave it their best shot, but to no avail.
Yeah, it's sad they didn't get back to that silver or gold or bronze even. But the last bit there about her saying that, it's really sad that the Olympics are over, but, now she and her family are going to go experience Paris, DK. I mean, that's not exactly a medal. And I could think of a few worse things to do with your time. Having your family out there to support you and experiencing a beautiful city like that. And obviously, we know that Delaney has a little bit more work to do.
She does. She will compete on the individual 10-meter platform competition, which is coming up a little bit later in these Olympic Games. And again, that was an opportunity last time around for her to take fifth. Did not make it to the podium. Can she possibly, as an individual, get on the podium this time? I did a deep dive piece for television the last time around because the young ladies from China won again. I mean, and it's never close. I mean, and these are teenagers.
Yeah,
we're talking about. I mean, Delaney Schnell and Jessica Parada are grown young women in their 20s, but the China is winning with young ladies in their teens.
Well, think about it. It's like that. It's the same thing as imagine a 16-year-old offensive lineman going up against a 30-year-old NFL defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just would never do that. Okay. The issue there is obviously the China, Olympic national team. They figured out that if you get the less mass on a person entering the water, DK, you're going to have less of a splash. It's just physics. So the fact that continually, time after time after time, it's just a new group of Chinese divers who are, on the young end. They clearly have figured something out because it's really hard to see them, losing a title. It seems like every time they're up on the podium.
Yeah, United States still has some work to do to get into that conversation with China. DK on the sports tip. 2 hours are in the books. Diamondbacks win today to sweep the Washington Nationals. Arizona football completes practice number 1. You'll hear from the players coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Noah Fafita and Dalton Johnson, along with J.W. Madden and cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With roadwork, widening work on Twin Peaks Road between Silver Bell and Corey Road. Road crews started the work on the north side of Twin Peaks Road at Corey Road. Then road crews will move to the east again for widening work on Twin Peaks Road between Corey Road and Silver Bell. And weather-wise, there is a flash flood warning until 5:30 for central Pima County and 84 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Save up to
Finished group play 3-0. The U.S. will face Japan in the Bam Adebayo had 18 points, and Kevin Durant had 14 to lead the U.S. men's basketball team to a 103-86 win over South Sudan. The Americans will face Puerto Rico on Saturday. And with 4 more medals today, the United States now has 30 in these games, the most of any competing nation. France is second with 26. China is third with 19. 9 of China's 19 medals are gold, which gives them the lead there. France and Japan have 8 golds apiece. Australia sits in third place with 7 gold medals. The United States so far has collected 5. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential. Because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Cumulus Media Station. The one and only home of the Jim Rome Show. Rich Eisen and DK on the Sports Tip.
Tell him about that tweet to Rome. It's going to be so awesome. He'll read it. He'll love it.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Our number 3 on this Wednesday, hump day, short show tomorrow because it is National Football League time here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll have the Hall of Fame game.
That's otherwise known as the wrinkle suit game, right?
Wrinkle suit?
Yeah, because they're getting them mailed. So there's no way those are
they're
pressed.
putting them in the mail now.
Yeah.
The gold jackets. I don't know the schedule of the weekend, so I would believe that I think the gold jacket ceremony is. I would imagine it's tonight. I'll have to turn on.
It's just, when the Stanley Cup comes back and there's all those weird stains all over it because everybody gets a chance to wear. If you're mailing out those gold jackets to players before they go, what are the chances, DK, they come and they're like set up pristine or they haven't been, sleeping in them? That's all I'm saying is if you show up to the event and they hand you the jacket in real time, like you talked about in length, is how you would like to see it done as opposed to them mailing it out. I just wouldn't be surprised if you saw a couple of wrinkled jackets up there on stage.
Now, obviously, a guy like Steve McMichael, who has dealt with a bunch of injuries and illnesses, and he will not. My understanding is he's not going to be in Canton or is unable to travel to Canton, so he'll be presented with all of his things tonight or this weekend at home, at his home in suburban Chicago. So congratulations to Steve McMichael. I mean, again, a lot of these guys who are dealing with serious health issues that are deserving of this honor, you like to see them be able to get it while they are still on this planet to enjoy it. So Steve McMichael definitely deserving of that, and he'll be one of those gentlemen who will unfortunately not be in Canton this weekend. So I'm not sure if the gold jacket ceremony is tonight. It might not be till tomorrow. They've totally messed with the schedule of this thing. It used to be the gold jacket ceremony was on Thursday, which would be tomorrow, and then the game sometimes it was actually on Friday, And then the ceremony was on Saturday and the game was on Sunday. But now they've moved the game up ahead of pretty much some of the events, and particularly the ceremony. But we'll have the game tomorrow night. Kickoff, our broadcast time is 5 o'clock. I'm imagining the game will start sometime around 5:15, 5:20. We'll have it right here for you on Wildcats Radio 1290. It is the Chicago Bears. Who is it? Bears and who? Bears and Bears and Texans. The Houston Texans.
Looks like
night.
Saturday.
Saturday is the ceremony.
It says
the
class
actual,
of 2024 enshrinement at noon.
The enshrinement is on Saturday at noon.
Not the dinner.
Yeah, the dinner, though, I believe, is either...
Oh, it's the dinner. It says here 5 p.m. on Friday.
Okay, so it's on Friday. So
Yep.
Gold Jacket ceremony will be on Friday.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Good job, J-Dub, finding out all of that. 520-848-1290
Houston and Chicago, DK.
is the number to get in on the program. We were talking about the Olympics. Delaney Schnell and Jessica Parado come in sixth in the diving. It was a pretty good day, though, for one legendary swimmer by the name of Katie Ledecky.
And the quest begins yet again for another Olympic gold for the incomparable Ledecky. Katie Ledecky has swum over 37 million meters, the equivalent of more than 23,000 miles. And so we charted from her time as an age group swimmer as a youngster, practice time, events, world championships, Olympics, and all the training in between that Katie has logged. It's just amazing, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it looks like how many miles I have on my car. It's unreal. But I think it's, that shows how much she loves this sport and the type of athlete she is. If you told her that she could still be as dominant as she is without training, she'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but I'm still going to go to practice. And that's how we should all strive for sport, is love it as much as a professional as we did as a kid.
It totals more than 23,000 miles, almost the circumference of the earth Ledecky has swum. There have been some dominant swimmers. We've seen what Michael Phelps has done, Rowdy, but the dominance in which Ledecky has performed has really been unequal.
And that's why I think she's closer to 1 than she is to 3 as far as the greatest of all time. That's how good Katie Ledecky is, because even Michael lost some races. In this one in the 800, it's been about 78 years, I think.
She got the Presidential Medal of Freedom in May. She's the first swimmer to ever get that. She said it reminded her of her D.C. area roots. She felt right at home. She owned the room when she got that honor from the president. The bell lap, 2 lengths to go for Katie Ledecky as the battle for the medals behind her ensues. 25 meters left for Ledecky to make more history. Won the gold in Tokyo. Is going to back it up again here in Paris. And the greatest swimming machine we've ever seen rolls on to another gold here in Paris.
15 minutes, 30 seconds, 30.2 seconds for Katie Ledecky. It was her 8th fastest 1,500 ever, and it bested her Tokyo time by more than 5 seconds. Katie Ledecky. When she swam here with Stanford, I want to say it would have been, was it so she obviously 2016.
She was like 15, right? 16 in her first Olympics?
I want to say it was 2016. So it had to have been 17 or 18 when she came in here with Stanford, and I went out there to watch. I mean, just to see, it's like, what? Because again, I mean, it's great that these Olympians now, a lot of them are going to college and competing on that level. We're seeing that a lot. Obviously, Jade Carey has come in here with Oregon State gymnastics, and we've gotten a chance to see her on that level. And Katie Ledecky was another one. I mean, you had to go. I mean, she's one of the greatest female swimmers of all time, and to come in here and to compete at the U of A pool, that was something that you had to see. So
yeah, I mean, I know you've mentioned that you didn't really grow up in pools. I grew up in a pool, DK. I swam my whole childhood. I just lived in the pool all the time, and I swam a lot. I swam quite a lot, and there's something to be said about what she does, because DK, I mean, that whole bit they're talking about there about how in training and in competition she swam the circumference of the earth. I mean, the amount of breath, because it's not just swimming, it's swimming against other people's times, and it's like a marathon. It's like that whole thing about, short burst running versus long distance and being able to hold that breath and be able to maintain that, muscle strength the whole time. That's a long, long time, DK, to be able to swim it's such a fast pace, and to be able to be the best ever. Just, by the way, she was at Stanford, you're correct, in 17. No, I'm sorry. I just had it in front of me, and now I don't.
Okay. How about this, though?
She was there 17 and 18.
17 and 18, yeah. So it was 2017 when I went out there to see her swim. How about this, though? The all-time top 20 list of times, the top 20 times all time in the 1,500-meter freestyle in history, all 20 times belong to Katie Ledecky. All 20 of them. This is the top 20. One person has the top 20 times in the history of this race.
So what you're saying is it's Katie Legretzky.
I like that. Katie Legretzky.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
There are very few athletes in the history of any sport that just dominate the top of every single leaderboard. So, yeah.
And then we had a great performance that you were saying in the men's 100 free, China's Pan Zanali.
Yeah, this happened, DK.
Yeah.
Now Pond goes out. Now he had a great start right there. If Pond goes out there and gets into that first 50 underneath the chop, he's got the most speed front and back half, and he's the world record holder.
Pond's one of those guys that's swimming well. He broke the Olympic record leading off Chinese relay team on Saturday night, so he is in form. And Pond is going to take the lead at the turn. Wow. Then you've got Grousset of France down there in second. Alexi was third.
Chalmers is eighth. Keep an eye on that. That guy was eighth at the 50.
Australia, no golds tonight. The men haven't won a gold yet. Pond is swimming tough in lane 4. Alexi, second from the bottom, trying to get on the podium for the Americans. But Pond in lane 4 is going to easily hold off the field. He takes the gold, the scramble for the silver.
46.40.
He broke his own world record that he set earlier this year, DK, by almost half a second. And half a second in the 100-meter free, I mean, that's insane. That's like, a tenth of a second off of the 100-meter dash. I mean, that's an insane improvement. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say?
You just wanted to play that so you can hear the honk sound.
I wanted to play it so we could contrast the, what was it, 24-minute long race versus the 46.
15 minutes, 30.2 seconds.
46-second race.
Seconds. Yeah. And we get the honk at the beginning of each race.
I love the honk. It's very just it's distinguishable. You can tell exactly what it is. It would get annoying after a while. But yeah, I mean, DK 46.4, like it's just insane.
Yeah. The U.S. Women's National Team soccer team advances. They are on out of group stage, so congratulations to them. They knocked off Australia and top Group B. That was a 2-1 win at Stade de Marseille. Stade de Marseille. I clearly don't remember any of the 20 years of French that I took growing up.
I think you nailed it. No notes.
Which is funny. We interviewed that guy for our Sunday show a few weeks ago, Greg Merced.
Yeah,
and he was saying the same thing. It's like, what in the world were we doing taking all those years of French in this country?
I mean,
I was like, I don't know. That was not my call, but we did it.
Yeah, the only time I ever used my French I learned in school is in Quebec because they speak a lot of French there.
Stade de Marseille. There you go with that. And again, the United States men's basketball team blows out South Sudan, so they are in to the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. So they're on.
Mr.
Bam Adebayo led the way for Team USA in today's game.
Mr. Kevin Durant, might have heard of him. He's the leading scorer in U.S. men's Olympic history. DK, he's made the most three-pointers of any player in this year's Olympics. And he also has the highest percentage because he has yet to miss. 8 for 8 from three-point line so far in the Olympics.
Wow. That is not bad at all. Not bad at all. So good job for the United States. That was a team that they had struggled with, like you had mentioned earlier. Bam Adebayo, 8 of 10 in today's ball game, coming off the bench, 21 minutes. He scored 18 points, had 7 rebounds. You mentioned Durant, 2 more threes, 2 for 5, but 8 of 9 from the line, 14 points, 3 assists, 3 steals for him off of the bench of the starters. LeBron had 12. Anthony Davis had 10. Anthony Davis had 8. Devin Booker, 4 of 6, 10 points, 6 assists in the ball game. 29 assists on 37 shots for the United States.
The big news is Jason Tatum did get into the game and did score his first Olympic points. And guess what? Tyrese Halliburton also got into his first Olympic game and also scored his first Olympic points.
There you go.
And that's not it. Joel Embiid, DNP. So, Coach Kerr, it's tough, man.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
It's so tough because, he's getting a lot of flack because you got 10 guys. He wants to do basically a 10-guy rotation, but in the standard DK, in the NBA or in college basketball, having 12 guys who could put in rotation has never, ever happened in the history of basketball.
Maybe some of these guys should go play 3-on-3.
U.S. Olympics teams. So, guys are going to come out. It's basically matchup related. But, Embiid got a DNP today, but Tatum and Halliburton scored their first Olympic points.
We haven't given you our question of the day yet for today. It is also Arizona football related, as again, the first day of practice was today. So yesterday we were talking about the running backs. We're going to stay on the offensive side of this for our question of the day today. What will be a more impactful offensive position for the Arizona Wildcats this season? Is it going to be the third wide receiver, which again, in the past couple of years under Jed Fish, they didn't really throw the ball much to more than just 2 people. It was, for the most part, Jacob Cowing and Tetro McMillan. The third receiver really did not get a whole lot of action. Or is it going to be the number 2 tight end? Because we saw this spring that they run a lot of 12 personnel. 12 personnel, if you're not familiar with the vernacular, is when there are 2 tight ends on the field. So we could see a lot of 12 personnel. So 2 tight ends in this system. So what is going to be the more impactful offensive position for the Wildcats this year? Is it going to be the third wide receiver, or is it going to be the second tight end? Right now, it is a 50-50 split. So head on over to our Twitter account at Wildcats1290. You can vote in this poll. Hurley Face 2.1.
Curly or Hurley?
Hurley Face.
Oh, Hurley.
And his Twitter handle is Hurley Face 2.1. He's got his picture is a frowny face of Bobby Hurley.
Right. I guess 2.0 didn't work so well.
Exactly.
So 2.1 here we go.
2.1. So Hurley Face 2.1 says second tight end can block in the absence of a veteran left tackle.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, Jordan Morgan graduated, and Raymond Polito, who was thought to be the guy that was going to slot in at left tackle, is not going to play this season. In fact, let's hear, before we go to break, let's hear that from the head coach real quick here about the Raymond Polito situation.
So Raymond Polito is going to be unavailable this season, and if I have any new information, I'll get it to you.
And then thoughts on left tackle where that stands right now?
That's going to be something that we're going to have to work through over the next, couple weeks. Good news is we got a lot of time to do it.
I will say this in reference to the poll question, DK, is that one of the best tidbits of information that I got out of this spring, or whenever it was, 3 months ago, was when we were doing some of the initial interviews, and I can't remember which coach it was that said it, but that they had an all-conference tight end every single year that coaching staff was at that program. So, that just goes to tell you, I know Glenn was just on earlier, how happy he's going to be, because I haven't, all signs point, DK, to a very involved tight end rotation.
And the first guy getting the run at left tackle today was Rhino Tapa-Ototai. I had it going early. Tapa-Ototai. He is a redshirt freshman out of Utah. And when we say Rhino, We're not talking rhino like Rhino Ryan Hansen, R-I-N-O. We're talking about rhino like R-H-I-N-O, like rhinoceros. Rhino.
Hey, that's a great name.
He is, how many pounds here? 310 pounds.
Big person.
But as Glenn said, he's a tight 310 pounds. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With a road work, widening work, Twin Peaks Road between Silver Bell and Corey Road, Anklam at Silver Bell closed for paving work, and also restrictions eastbound and westbound on Grant Road west of Dodge Boulevard down to 1 lane. And for your weather, we do have a flash flood warning for central Pima County until 5:30, and it's 86 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Simone Biles is back on top at the Olympics as USA Gymnastics captured the team gold medal on Tuesday. Biles, Suni Lee, Jade Carey, and Jordan Childs dominated the competition to finish a full 5 points ahead of silver medalist Italy. This victory just another chapter in the storied history of Biles and Team USA. After captivating the world in the Rio Games in 2016, she withdrew 3 years ago in Tokyo, and the team settled for silver. With this triumphant return to the Olympic stage, Biles owns 8 career medals, more than any other American gymnast in history.
It's amazing, but I don't think I'll truly understand the depth of it until I walk away from the sport. So you never know, because we still have a couple more competitions here, so I'm trying to focus on that, and so we'll just have to see.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Sponsored by Age of Learning. What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m. and you're sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested.
If you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program today. Final stages, final 37 minutes or so coming up. Head on over to our Twitter account, Wildcats1290. You can vote in our question of the day today. What position on offense is going to be more impactful for the Arizona Wildcats? Is it going to be the third wide receiver? We're not sure who that's going to be. Might it be Malachi Riley? Could it be finally A.J. Jones, who made a nice catch today on a pass in the back of the end zone for a touchdown? Might it be one of the many tight ends that the Wildcats have this season? Keon Burnett could be a guy that finally emerges to take over that role now with the exodus of Tanner McLaughlin. We're going to see who those tight ends are going to be, and that is a position that is very well respected in this offense being led by Dino Babers with the help of Matt Atkins in the passing game and, of course, Alonzo Carter in the run game. We'll hear from Coach Babers as well coming up later in the week. Had a chance to catch up with him yesterday and actually asked him what he likes most about the tight end philosophy of this offense. So you'll get to hear that. But for right now, let's hear from your players today. Noah Fafita and Dalton Johnson met with the media after the first practice, and Noah Fafita asked about how this camp is going to be different than the camp from last year under the Jed Fish coaching staff.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences from coaching staff to new players to new schemes, so we kind of expected it to be different, but all in all, it's been great. It's been a great first day, a lot to improve on offensively, a lot to improve on individually, so we're looking forward to continue to get back to work, watch the film later today, and then another day tomorrow.
In what ways do you think the offense got better in the offseason?
I think chemistry and trust, that plays a big factor. When you're kind of on the field for PRPs with no coaches out there, you get to learn a lot from each other, and those reps kind of add up to where you kind of get a feel for where guys are going to be, what they're good at, and where you could put the ball. So learned a lot about our receivers. We got some special guys in that room, and we're looking forward to continuing to build on it.
Michael and then David and then Brian. Noah, how is T-Mac handling not being able to participate at the start?
I mean, obviously, he's a competitor and he's a leader, so you could kind of see him on the side working to get back. He's been doing that all along, so he's in a really good spot, and we're looking forward to obviously getting him back.
David and Brian.
One for each of you. First, Noah, how do you approach day one? What are the things that you like to see get done as far as the teams and the offense is concerned, as far as yourself is concerned?
Yeah, as a competitor, obviously you want to beat the defense every time you're on the field, but you give a lot of credit to them. Obviously, great players on that side who make our job very difficult. So that's just kind of the competitive aspect into it. But it's just great to be back on the field, be with the guys, and be with the coaches, being able to get coached up. So today was just kind of getting acclimated and kind of learning our first install. Obviously, we started in the red zone, so things get you got to be cleaner down there. So, like I said, we got to learn a lot from the film, and we're looking forward to continuing to compete.
Just for you, I mean, we look down the roster, and it's like no more S, no more CB. It's like all DB. What's the advantage of that, do you think, for this defense, that having so many guys that can know so many different positions there?
I would just say it helps with the mental part, growing your game besides just being an athlete. If you're able to understand more than one position, multiple positions, then it makes you play faster. Coach Ken is always talking about, a lot of guys can, run 4-3, but, if you're able to play 4-3 and move quick, then you'll be a lot better. So I feel like, DB, it just helps us, whether it's injury or just if we have to make a sudden change, then we'll be able to fit the pieces where they need to be.
Brian and Jenna. Dalton, did you bulk up here in the offseason? How much did you put on?
About 10 pounds.
What are you playing at right now?
202, about.
202. How did that feel out there?
Felt good. It's not all just heavy weight. I put on good lean muscle mass, but one of my goals this offseason was to obviously put on weight, being a boundary safety, but it felt good. It felt like I was moving good.
For both of you, we saw the new red line motto on the back of the wall. For you, what does that mean to you?
It's just kind of how we're gonna play as a team. We're going to give 100 miles per hour 100% of the time. We're going to be accountable, and we're going to execute. So that's just kind of the mentality Coach Brennan's given this team. That's how we want to be defined.
Yeah. Just pedal to the metal. Like Noah said, 100 all the time. We're going to hold each other accountable, and we're just going to get after it every time.
No, you guys added another Servite guy to the roster with Schenko.
Yes, sir.
What's the story there?
Yeah, that's basically my little brother. He played with us in 8th grade and then transferred over to Servite his sophomore year. So that's just somebody we wanted to add. We feel like he could help us in a lot of ways. Special player, and then I know it sounds like we say it a lot, but he really is a great person.
And then at left tackle, now that Raymond's away from the team, what do you think just about the guys who are competing for that spot?
They're doing a great job, and they've done it all summer. They did it in the spring, and I know Coach O's gonna get them right. Coach O's a fantastic coach, but we got some good candidates at that spot, and that's the best part about football competition. So just building that trust, building that camaraderie, and then I think the biggest part is making sure that whoever it is, they know that we trust them and we believe in them. That's the biggest part. Confidence goes a long way. So we always talk about the culture and the family, and we expect it to shine through once again.
Question for each one of you. For Dalton, yesterday Coach Aquina said that Trayden was one of the best kept secrets in college football. What do you think just makes him a good player?
He can play all 6 positions, nickel, corner, right corner, left corner, it doesn't matter, safety. That's very rare to have a guy who can play inside and, play man the best on a slot and then move outside and do it just as well. I don't think too many people know about Trayden Stukes, but they'll wake up this season. Yeah, he's great.
But I feel
it's a higher number. So. At one point, he's going to play nose tackle probably.
For Noah, your former and current teammate, Kean Burnett, hasn't played as much as some of you other guys. What have you noticed about him coming into this training camp? Seems like he was making some plays out there.
Yeah, you can see the mentality and the confidence has definitely changed up. He knows it's his time. He knows it's his spot. So we have a lot of good guys in that room, from Sam Olsen to Roberto, Dorian, Tyler. You can go down the list, but you kind of see Key beginning to step up and being able to make plays that we've seen him make a lot in the past. So I'm really excited to be able to watch him continue to grow. But when it comes back to trust, obviously I've played with this guy for 7-8 years, so the trust is there. Now we're excited to compete.
Jason and David.
Dalton, yesterday Coach Gonzalez said that when you watched your film, something that stood out is there was no drop-off from when you first started here to now. What do you attribute that to, the consistency?
I would just say work ethic, and then plus just my teammates around me. We're always fighting and competing, and just, having that drive and that edge to, do something about it, because, I redshirted, and then I was just all special teams my sophomore year. So I just wanted to prove myself, but it helped with just the guys around me, just, building me up.
A couple of new guys to your DB room, Marquise Groves, Killebrew, Jack Luttrell. What's your scouting report? What do you see? What do you like from those two guys?
They're competitors. They like to compete and they like to play. They're going to go out there and give it their all every time. I'm really impressed by both of them right now.
Noah, with the the coach-to-player communication and also the tablets that are now being added to the sideline. How are you guys going about that? How do you think that'll help you guys out?
That's going to help us a lot because you kind of get, I mean, when you're on the last year, it's like kind of on the field, you're by yourself. And then I know T-Mac especially, he always talks about his first college game. He came off expecting to go to the iPads, and that's kind of when we found out there were no iPads. So those are definitely beneficial to everybody, but especially when it comes to my position, being able to have Coach Babers, being able to talk to him and him kind of telling me what he's looking for and being able to just kind of have him in my ear and then being able to just kind of go and confirm things that you thought you saw. You don't really have to wait until the next day to confirm things you saw on the field. So being able to have that, to watch that, to look at the iPad with Coach Lyle and whoever's on the sideline will be very helpful.
How crazy is that? I didn't even really realize that. High schools have had iPads on the sidelines before college football did.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I think it's got to be a competitive balance thing, right? Where like maybe some schools' Wi-Fi isn't as good, so they're not going to have as good of a connection to the pad, so therefore they don't have the same. I think it's just what we said about your ovals being sideways or up and down lasting until 2078. I think that's the situation we're in. Just a lot of bureaucratic stuff going on behind the scenes, but hey, I think it's going to make the game so much better because when you can see in real time, DK. Maybe something that you missed. Coaches can tell you everything about watch that backside or whatever, but watching it on an iPad image or video directly after the play is just going to make for a much cleaner game.
Cricket joins us now. Cricket, when my wife chimed in on the Twitterverse about the voting thing, I didn't give you the whole story there because there were actually two parts to my pet peeve. The first part was that the ovals are the wrong direction.
Okay.
The second pet peeve is that when you go to vote, you're standing in this booth, and so because I can't draw the circle, I have to bend over to like really get on top of the ballot in order to do it. So now not only am I turning my ballot to read it and to write the things, I got to go up and down, bending over every 2 minutes. And so that's like, I'm 50 and my 56 years old. So that's like wrecking my back.
Yeah, he went to vote. He went to vote and wound up going to the chiropractor.
And he had to go to the ER.
I wound up in traction.
Yes.
So
oh
yeah,
my
so
goodness.
that was the whole premise of her. Well, if you mailed in your ballot, you could sit home. You could sit down and fill it all out. Yeah, exactly.
So next time,
maybe I'll still go and vote.
My comment, Cricket, yesterday was that many people who do vote in person tend to be 95-year-old grandmothers, and that's probably why they make them so short.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
can you imagine the old people that have to go and bend over to write that stuff out? I mean, come on, what are we doing?
I hope they can turn their paper dexterously enough to be able to make that happen.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Oh, we got a sweet deal happening.
Indeed,
Cricket.
we do on Friday. I think this one will go quick. Our sweet deal is from Reforma Modern Mexican, where you pay $25, but you get $50 to spend. Now, Reforma has this like modern twist on authentic Mexican food, and they use fresh local ingredients. They have got the largest selection in the state of Arizona of mezcal and tequila. A list of creative margaritas and cocktails as happy hour 7 days a week. St. Philip's Plaza, River and Campbell Sweet Deal on Friday from Reforma Modern Mexican, 8:30 Friday morning at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Have you been to Reforma? It's that's right there at St. Philip's Plaza there.
I have.
Yeah, that's good. I just love that whole deck, like not the deck, but the patio.
Like the vibe is so
vibe.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. They got bands out there
And
most
lights
of the nights. So exactly.
The real question is, do you like mezcal?
I don't know that here's the thing.
Do you
I think
know what mezcal is?
I did drink because we went down to see. I mentioned a few weeks ago. They do jazz down at that place downtown, and we'd gone there a couple of nights. I can't even remember the name of it off the top of my head. But they were testing mezcal one night, and so I had some. I think that might have been the first time I had mezcal. It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know that it's anything I would drink regularly.
Did you drink the worm?
No. Okay. No, I don't do worms. I never did worms with tequila in college.
Okay, good.
That was no.
Basically, the way it works is it has to be 50.
Century Room. It's Century Room, the place downtown.
Well, it's funny it's a Century Room because blue agave, century plant type of thing, it has to be 51% or more of blue agave to be considered tequila. And that's how that works. Mezcal is anything else. So, like, there are families. My first experience with mezcal was in Cabo, I think, from some crazy. They had to keep it in a barrel, like keep it in a metal barrel, DK, because it would melt glass. And basically, I think every family down there has their own homebrewed recipe, and have been, perfecting them over the years. So there's really no such thing as quote unquote mezcal. There's like a bunch of different flavor profiles in my experience. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Cricket is getting us home on this Wednesday, every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some busy traffic westbound Speedway at I-10, westbound Ahaway at Mission, westbound Irvington at I-19. Some more slowing on the southbound I-19 frontage road approaching Irvington. And we do have a chance of some showers tonight and 86 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Marco Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber. Right here. Plumber. Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July Summer Sale and get 35% off paints and stains from July 26th through August 5th. With prices starting at $31.84, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Small talk. Nobody likes small talk. It's boring, mindless, awkward, empty, painful, hard, pointless, and dull. But we'll take it. Donate your small talk to foster care. Because just talking about the 700 kids that enter the system every day can help the 700 kids that enter the system every day. Learn more at donateyoursmalltalk.org. Brought to you by Foster More.
What's one of your favorite memories?
Let's see. Well, there was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. I mean, when you're sitting on the beach, it's so peaceful and you sort of forget there's a whole other world under there, just full of all kinds of life. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. They kind of reminded me of tropical birds. They were so bright and colorful, just darting all over the place like birds in the sky. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
We are the Veterans Health Administration, and our hands provide life-changing care to over 9 million veterans across more than 1,200 facilities nationwide. Join hands with us to make an impact in your community. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sportsman. It's sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizon. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. DJ Moore received a 4-year contract extension worth $110 million. The Bears are loaded on offense with more Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, and DeAndre Swift. Last year we saw CJ Stroud take over a Texans team in peril and instantly put them in the playoffs in the AFC. And with Williams walking into an easier situation, the Bears should be a playoff team in the NFC. I'm Zach Gelb.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
Always find what you love at Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest price, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single-barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. Final chance for you to get in on today's program. Practice number 2 tomorrow for Arizona football. The practices are open to the public, folks, so you can come out and watch practice. So please plan on getting out there if you can. Most of the practices that are in the morning are starting around 9 a.m. There will be some evening practices that will be at the stadium, and those are the ones at the stadium will generally start around 7 or so p.m., so plenty of opportunity to get out and see your Arizona Wildcats this fall at fall camp, and there's lots of great storylines in terms of that, so get on out there and see Arizona football this fall camp. Diamondbacks throwing a little shade at the Washington Nationals. Let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the Diamondbacks win. It got a little dicey, though, in the 9th inning. Paul Sewald walked 3, gave up a hit. Torey Lovullo gave him the hook, and Ryan Thompson had to put out the fire.
Force everywhere. Bounce to second. Marte has got it, and Ryan Thompson saved the day. And the Diamondbacks get the series sweep, and their sensational July comes to a close. They have won 13 of their last 17, and now it's off to Pittsburgh, PA.
So I mentioned the Diamondbacks throwing some shade at the Washington Nationals with the post-game tweet, 3 curly W's in a row. If If you don't know what that means, the curly W is the fashioned logo of the Washington Nationals. I always say it looks like the logo from Walgreens because it's the same type of W.
It's that loop
I
in the
call them
middle.
the Walgreens. I can't. That one year they won the World Series, I kept calling them the Walgreens Nationals.
Don't get me started on typeface, DK, because I know a lot about it. But that's that curly W there, the curl in the middle, that little swoop in the W, yeah.
And I think their announcer even says that when they win. I think that's his winning call is hang a curly W. Well, the Diamondbacks hung 3 curly W's on the Nationals. Afterward, Torey Lovullo didn't talk about Seawall. We'll maybe get that tomorrow, but talked about winning the series.
It was a little bit of a dogfight there for the first several innings. Our starting pitcher looked like he had real good stuff. We just kept grinding away at him, and I think there was maybe a little fatigue factor set in. We started to have some quality at bats and had the bid and scored the runs, and they held up. There's a few things that stood out about that inning. The situational hitting was fantastic. We were 3 for 3 with runners at third base with less than 2 outs. Just some real nice quality approaches. But we built the inning by being patient, by having an all-field approach. I'm thinking about the Randall Grichuk base hit to right field where he hustled and it was a hustle double. So a lot of good things happened today. It took us a little while to get kick-started. But it was all working off of Zach. Zach was fantastic for his 6 innings. He was dotted up pretty good, just a couple narrow misses. He continued to pound the zone. It looked like he had a really good curveball, swing and miss curveball. But it was nice to get him the win. He came out of the game. He was coming out of the game. He knew it. It was 1-1, and we jumped on him for those 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Ryan Thompson comes in and picks up Paul, makes some quality pitches with the bases loaded, and we win a game. I want the guys to flush the good and the bad that happened over the past several games, especially today. Have a good off day. We'll get up to Pittsburgh and be ready for a very, very stubborn Pittsburgh team on Friday.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, I had a chance to see some baseball in Philadelphia this past weekend, and the Cleveland Baseball Club, my tribe, went in and took 2 out of 3 from the Phils, who have the best record in baseball. I don't know that they do anymore because the Yankees then came to town and put an absolute whooping on the Phils on Broad Street, and a lot of that had to do with their latest acquisition, a young man by the name of Jazz Chisholm.
Here's Chisholm. High fly ball, deep left, going back Hayes on the track at the wall. See ya! Chisholm's first Yankee home run, and the Yankees lead 2-0. Going the other way with a lot of power. 14th home run of the year. Yeah, changing speeds with this breaking ball. High fly ball, deep right field. There it goes. See ya! A 2-run home run for Chisholm, his 2nd of the game, and the Yankees lead this one by a score of 14-4.
So that was last night. Jazz Chisholm hit 2 home runs. That was after he'd hit 2 home runs on Monday night. So he hit 4 home runs in that series. The Yankees won the day game today on Broad Street, winning 6-5, I believe, was the final. And so, yeah, the Phillies they're in a muck right now. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games, but I do believe they still have the best record in baseball by a half game over the Baltimore Orioles.
I have to apologize to you and to our listeners because I cut that off a little too early. Here's the actual ending.
Okay. Or not.
Telling Judge you could hit. He went right over. My Judge is like biggest.
I don't know that we heard that, though.
Biggest smile on his face.
You may have to play it again. I don't know that we heard it. I did not hear that, but I don't know if the audience
I'm sorry.
heard
Well,
it.
here,
Play it one more
here
time.
it is. Here is the ending of that call.
Okay, all right.
4. Telling Judge, you can hit 2 in one day. I can too.
Yeah, and I will correct myself. The Phillies no longer have the best record in baseball. You know who that belongs to now?
Dodgers.
Try that team from Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland Guardians now have the best record in baseball after their final win in Philadelphia and their 2-game sweep of the Tigers, a 3-game winning streak. Cleveland is now 65-42. Philadelphia is 65-43. So the Guardians now are the best team in professional baseball. Go Tribe. Go Tribe. All right, real quick. Let's where are we going with? Oh, soccer. Let's play the soccer thing. We'll come back to the whole women's gymnastics thing tomorrow. Big thing happened in soccer with Marta today.
Navarro into the danger area. Brazil hanging on a point could be so important today as another challenge comes in. Marta Carmona is down, and the red card has been shown to Marta.
So basically, there was a ball in the box, DK, and Marta went to clear it out. This was in stoppage time in the first half, and the opposing player was going for the ball as well, and Marta's foot made contact with her head. It was a red card, should have been a red card. It was just an unfortunate play because the other player was leaning in. It wasn't as if her foot was up by the player's head. It was not that at all. Go watch the replay. The unfortunate thing here is that Marta has announced her retirement, and Brazil had to wait actually a couple of hours to see if they would even make it to the next round. They have made it through, but because she got the red card, she's not in the next game. So if Brazil loses their next game, her career might be over. That might be the last international play. She's second all-time in Olympic for women's goal scoring in Olympic history.
Yeah, she's never won an Olympic or Women's World Cup title.
None of them.
With Brazil.
Brazil's never won one, believe it or not. 5 times top 4, never won a title.
All right, thanks to Glenn Howe for joining us. We'll be back out of practice tomorrow. JW Madden and Cricket. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With some busy travel for Ahaway and Mission, also Irvington and I-19, and that widening work continuing on Twin Peaks Road between Silver Bell and Quarry Road. And there is a chance of some showers this evening and 86 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss up to 70% off select major appliances at the Lowe's closeout event. But hurry, these deals are too good to last because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Here at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we want to thank you, Tucson, for helping us.